Nice.
All right, you guys, let's talk about this. So this is the second year of your film festival. Congratulations on that. I read through some of the titles because now I want to see some of these films because it's important. It's always important about spreading the words. It's always about independent film festivals. And the fact that you guys are doing it in Twentynine Palms in that area, good for you. And I don't know what last year was for you. I would be going down there if I didn't have, what do I have? Oh, Nashville Film Festival. If I wasn't going, I wanted to go down there and see what you guys have created. Because I love it when people create something and you just know how everything is going to blow up 3, 5 years from now. I think that's great. Talk about how this started. Talk about what you guys want to get out of this.
Yeah, well, it started last year with a grant from the 29 Palms Tourism Board that we applied for, kind of just hoping that something could come of it. And what came of it was really exciting to us. Like this fantastic first year of 29 Queer Film Festival. We saw a lot of people excited for the local films. So that's what we decided to double down on this year, in addition to international films. So we're trying to create like a global connection to the queer filmmaking community in 29 Palms.
Yeah, I think, we saw a place that, has a huge military base, has a huge artist community, and I think there's a lot of cultural clashes there, but from that comes really great art, also very cinematic place to make films. So we wanted to give a place to celebrate that, celebrate the active arts community that is there, and also the queer community.
Congratulations to that, you guys, sincerely, because the arts are in trouble. I know that I was just getting off the phone with someone about the LA Art Show. They're moving it from February in Los Angeles to the first week of January, which is ridiculous. And then they're doing something with South Palm Beach on that, which is taking their place in February, which makes absolutely no sense. I'm like, don't people look at calendars anymore? Because
Yeah,
you're going up against the first week of January, which is the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas.
yeah,
You're not going to top that. You got the Critics' Choice Award, you got the Golden Globes, and you got Palm Springs. That's the first weekend of the year, and you
yeah.
got to throw in the LA Art Show. And I support that. And the reason why I bring all these things up because the date that you guys have chosen, I think is great. I don't see anything going up against what you guys have had. You guys stick to that. You're in good shape. You're in good shape with everything because the dates for things matter.
Yeah, it's strategic in terms of what the tourist board wants to. This is the last week, basically, of the hot season. So, if anybody's familiar with the high desert, it can get up to 120. I cannot believe we lived there, so I can't believe that we survived that. But it's a time where tourists don't know that they can come back. So the tourist board is really interested in just reimagining the space for people and showing them that it's a great place to go in the early fall.
Well, yeah, it's always about getting more tourism because we've got less tourism coming into the United States now,
Yeah,
which affects everything. And obviously, I'm seeing it from the art world just by what I told you with the LA Art Show. It's always about the arts, it's about those film festivals supporting indie films, and they're not getting the proper support that they need to. I was just in Arkansas a couple days ago. I went to an IMAX theater where across the street from the hotel. I was the only one, actually, there was me and two other people in there, and then two other people came, and this was at 2 o'clock. And I go, this is not good. This is a Regal theater, and I'm seeing this cross country when I'm traveling. So that bothers me. But I started saying this in 2014, 2015, when I was helping the Hollywood Film Festival. This was going to happen to film festivals. I believe you guys have a great opportunity to do what you're doing there. And it's away from everything. And you can bring this tourist. So smart thinking on you guys. I don't know how you guys came up with the date from last year to this year, but talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the reasons we decided to do this festival is because there is no movie theater in 29 Palms. So we're working with the local stage theater to put on the screenings there. But like you're saying, people it's harder to get people out to the movies, and We're actually bringing in people from the town and from all over California and all over the world. So we're really excited just to make that happen and to create the space for queer cinema to thrive in the desert.
And people don't realize it doesn't matter what movie it is. The first thing I looked at, I'm like, oh, they're good short films. Smart. You know, you guys and women, good for you. You did the right thing. Talk about what happened last year, how this came about, to what you want to have happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely self-critical. So while everyone was, really blown away by the festival last year, it really couldn't have gone better. We learned a lot from it, and it was mainly about just reallocating resources, things that didn't work and things that people wanted more of. So this year, I think people are going to find that we've really underlined the local desert shorts. Anything that was shot in the area, shot in a desert landscape, or shot by a local filmmaker, that is part of our huge Saturday gala, which last year was a sold out gala where a live chicken literally was brought on stage in a surprise maneuver. So like there's, a lot to build on already. We've made our queer horror pop program, which was so popular, our opening night gala. And we have literally a filmmaker coming from the Philippines in an exchange program with another film festival in Bangkok. So literally we have more international interest. And, Graham was just saying our social media for those kinds of posts is getting some of the most attention.
Yeah, the film from John Galvez, who's visiting from the Philippines, is called Lip Sync Assassin, and it stars Drag Race Philippines winner Precious Paula Nicole. So we're really excited to share that, and is getting a lot of great buzz online.
You know what's interesting and why I always say yes and thank you. I don't know how you guys found me or reached out to me, but thank you for that. I don't know what responses you guys got from other people, which tends to be not a lot. So whatever you did not get back in responses, don't be surprised by that. That's normal of what I'm hearing from people across the country, which is why they're inviting me to a bunch of other things there. And that's why I take the time to go to those other film festivals or those other events. It doesn't matter if it's an art show, a fitness show, or a dressage show, because I do that because I know nobody else is covering them. When I did, when Coleman Dominguez did Sing Sing opening night in Atlanta Film Festival, great film. There was me, the only one from LA, and a person from Getty from Atlanta got there 10 minutes late, and one other person. That was it. Opening night was a great film, which Netflix with Anne Hathaway in it. Same thing. I'm seeing this cross country and it's not good. I even see it at AFI last year. They didn't even have their house. They had a house photographer, a video because I talked to them, but they didn't have anybody else. I'm like, where is everybody? I already know the answer.
We really appreciate the coverage because, like you're saying, it is hard to get responses from people. And some of the time we hear back from people and they say, I don't have an outlet anymore. It's really hard to get jobs in the media covering films and small film festivals right now. So any attention we can get, we really appreciate it.
And I learned in 20 and 21, those are the 2 years during lockdown. I saw it coming. I saw it coming a year and a half in advance. So I was prepared for stuff. But how do you tell everybody the world's going to shut down?
Yeah.
You can't. I saw it February 2nd when I was in Super Bowl in Miami. Then, and jumped on a plane. I went back to Vegas where I was living at that point. I was coming in town to cover everything at that point. I started making the changes then. So we weren't affected by it. So when it happened in March 16th of 2020, everybody was not prepared for it. We were. And so I was helping Italian startups. And if you remember, Italy got hit hard first. So I was thinking those poor people at the startups I had talked to you in the beginning of January at CES show. So the reason I say all these things, I am involved with all of these things one way or another, and I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm talking to my Canadian friends who are coming in next week for the gift suite for the Emmy week. I'm talking to my friends from Singapore and Japan and China I talked to a lot of my friends from Ukraine, the ones that moved there, that live here now. That's happening in the country. So I'm seeing all the changes. So that's why I felt obliged, because I didn't know about it until you guys reached out. I said, hey, if someone reaches out to me, I'm responsible to do whatever I can to help them.
Yeah, we appreciate that a lot. I mean, I think a lot of the outlets probably say, "Oh, our readers don't want to hear about that," whatever the definition of that is. And we just never see our programming as anything that can't be appreciated by anyone. These filmmakers are truly cut from a different cloth. Like queer filmmakers are forced in a lot of ways to tell their stories differently. So we're really privileged to be able to showcase that work. And we hope a lot of, straight cis people stumble through our doors, and experience it, even if those journalists weren't willing to vibe.
Well, here's what I learned. I would always go support. I mean, last year, it was last year. Yes, last year, I did Outfest, the Italian Film Festival, Toy World in Vegas, Toy Fest in Vegas, LA Art Show, and then one other, the the Greek Film Festival, all within a 7-day period. I was the only one to do that. That's nuts to do, first of all. But I also saw what they didn't have. You were lucky to have a big, presence on opening night. Maybe closing night if you're lucky. I saw it this year at the Greek Film Festival. Hey Brian, can you help us set up the lights? We don't have. They had volunteers, but they were coming late. They just didn't have it. But I've seen it. I've seen it in Tennessee. You know. But here's what I did learn why I'm doing this, and I wanted to do it with you guys was I remember when RuPaul started, when I first met him in 1998, my friend Mike Szymanski would have been going down to visit you guys. He had a heart attack. He would always write everything for us. And then when it comes to other things like that, look where RuPaul's Drag Race is. Who is the most celebrated Emmy winner now? Reality show, RuPaul. Now, if you would have told me back that when I first met him in 96, 98, I wouldn't have thought that. I'm happy that that happened because look what it's done. So I see certain things like that happening for you guys. You never know what's going to happen. You just know it's going to continue to grow, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
true. It happened already. So we really do like have a lot of hope that we're getting more monetary support, this year. And there's things like we're gonna sell more tickets, we're gonna sell more merch, like just even amping that kind of aspect of it just makes us be able to be independent sooner. And that would be really lovely.
And yeah, like as filmmakers ourselves, we really want to create a film community in 29 Palms in this remote, beautiful place, to create a space where filmmakers can come together. Some of our visiting directors this year are coming from our directors from Russia, from the Philippines, like we said, and there's someone coming from Amsterdam who made a film in New Zealand. So we're bringing these people together with local filmmakers, with people from California, and just creating opportunities for this kind of content to thrive.
I think that kind of discourse is sometimes undervalued, but it will have an effect on all of these artists to have these conversations and to watch these films, and it'll have an effect on the audience too. So I think some people say like, well, whatever, you put on an event, you watch some movies, but it really is more than that. You go away and you think about it. Oftentimes you're watching 30, 40 short films sometimes at a festival, and they really make you think. So we're really happy to bring that experience to everyone.
Talk about this. I remember doing the interviews for last show. What was it? Showgirls. Paul Van Hoven when that started. I'm thinking about that. I'm like, wow, I did that way back when. I just remember calling the publicist and saying, wow, we're getting a lot of people that want to see it. And they knew they had a bomb on their hands. But
Yeah.
however, it was still about the movie. People were interested in it. Years later, what are you guys doing having that? I think that's great. Talk about that and then talk about Rent Please. That looks interesting. I want to see that movie.
Yes. I mean, I will say that like sexism and misogyny led to the bomb of that movie, which really was like a sort of pre-cancellation. There was a lot of expectation of Elizabeth Berkley from being on Saved by the Bell. It was all very unfair, and so that right there is like a queer story. Even if you didn't have lesbianic moments, that right there, that sort of gender triumph that happened with the actual movie is very queer. It's the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, it's actually screening like it's a late night movie, so it'll be playing at midnight on the full 30th anniversary of the release, and we're really excited. It is a camp classic. We appreciate the film on many levels, and we think it should be that it should be appreciated more. So we're hoping to celebrate it on that special late night screening.
And people want to see it. That's the one thing about that film. People want to watch it.
And I always say this, it becomes a cult classic. And I, when you said that, I'm like, well, yeah, it is a cult classic. And Elizabeth Berkley, she never shied away from that. When I last interviewed her, I think 2011, 2012 for something she was doing there at the Huntington in Pasadena. I asked her about that because she remembered I was one of her first interviews that interviewed her back in the day. And the appreciation what it was there. Brian, it was a job. I was proud of the work that I did. Good for you. That's what it's all about.
She nailed it.
Talk about rent. Talk about rent, please, and then we got a couple minutes left. Talk about who you both are and why people should come out to support this film festival.
Absolutely. Well, Rent Please, let's shout out this director's name. Rent Please is a short by, I think he's 18 years old. Janan Mirza Pandya. We're just excited because this is like campy B movie, nailing, the look, the performance, knowing the aesthetic, knowing the references.
Yeah, we really appreciate when people do what they can with the resources at hand. As filmmakers ourselves, that's something that we try to do. We try to incorporate our surroundings into a great film with as little budget as we have, and we see that in Rent Please. We see the emergence of an exciting new voice, so we wanted to celebrate that.
And then tell everybody you are, who each of you are, and what you bring to the film festival, and talk about Nina too.
Sure. Well, I'm Jonathan Andre Culliton. I am co-director and co-husband.
And I'm Graham Kolbeins. I'm a filmmaker and I'm the co-director of the festival, along with Jonathan and Nina Jimenez. I met Nina at Theater 29, our venue for the festival, when I was actually acting in a production of The Witches that she directed. And she was such an amazing talent. She's been with Theater 29 for 20 years, and she's an important part of the local
She's
art.
in her 20s.
Yeah,
She's been.
she started out as a child actor in the
Yeah.
theater, and she was such a vital part of the team last year. We were happy to elevate her to our co-director to bring even more of the local theater community and just the community at large into the festival through her amazing work.
Yeah, it kind of all falls apart in terms of like the stuff we need to do to make the show run without Nina.
Talk about how people can get tickets and social media links, how people can reach out for you guys.
Absolutely.
You can get tickets and look at the full program at 29qff.com and follow us on Instagram at 29queerfilm for all kinds of information. We're doing a ticket giveaway right now. So check it out, and I hope to see you in the desert.
All right. And one last question. Why should people come out to support this? Interesting.
I mean, it's vital. It's vital to have arts programs thriving, just like you're talking about. If places like this don't have thriving arts, there's not a lot of hope in the world. You know, these are the places that really get pushed aside. And the arts are like kind of one of the first things to go, but after that, it is a real deluge. So please come out and support, do fun things, like buy a t-shirt that looks cool, that kind of stuff really does help, and to appreciate these artists, to give them follows, etc. So yeah, your enthusiasm is everything.
And, between the festival and our after party at the drag show Tiny Pony, sorry, at the drag show Horse Girl at the Tiny Pony, there are going to be 8 drag performers throughout the weekend, and all kinds of fun activities, raffles,
Like nice prizes for
nice
that. Like,
prizes. Yeah.
come out just for the raffle prizes. I want to win them.
And it's a community, we just try to make it a fun social vibe and create something that we would want to go to.
Well, congratulations on that. I remember my friend, the publicist, she's the publicist of the Jewish Film Festival. She did the drag show downtown LA at the Opium Theater 2 or 3 years ago, and it was fun. And again, no press. I think there was me and 2 other people, but it was fun, and you just never know. But as you said, it's always about the arts. It's always about good films, and you never know who's gonna come and make a good film and where they're gonna go. I always want to be able to say I interview them when they first started, and that's what I like to see. So for you guys, hey, if you guys keep it the same time, if you can, for next year, I'll come down. I don't care if it's for one day, because I
Yeah.
always have fun at these events. You just never know who you're going to meet, and it helps everybody. It's about the arts, right?
Oh, the gays know how to party too, so you'll have a good time.
Oh, tell me about it. I learned that from my log cabin Republican friends. You know,
Dang.
they were at AFI Film Festival. It had to be '08, I believe, and it was at the old place called Shotzi's in Hollywood, and we had the best time ever. I knew I was gonna have fun, but I didn't expect. Till this day, it's one of the most fun parties I've ever been to. So yes, believe me, as a straight black guy, I know what kind of parties you guys throw. I've been there. There isn't anything that you can't show me that I haven't seen already. So
Right. That's funny.
all right, so I want to thank you guys for this. And I have to always say for everybody to reach out and support. It's about supporting the arts and the independent filmmaker, no matter where they may be around the world.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Brian.
you. All right, we'll stop the recording. Yeah.